Thank you. Gracious. That was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you for inviting me. This is terrific. I'm going to talk about soft skills a little bit. I'm from North Carolina, y'all, so that's what you're going to get. I am from Salisbury, North Carolina. It's a small town. My commute is 4 minutes from home to my office. Way back in 2003, I was driving. I was halfway to work, 2 minutes, and there was this car in front of me that hit a orange cone, one of those cones that they have on the side of the road during construction. You know what I'm talking about? They're about that high. That was the interactive part. You're supposed to nod. Thank you. Yeah. And it hit it, and it careened up and got in front of me, and it went underneath my car and got jammed in there. And I still ran or drove for about 100 yards, and then it popped out the back. And I stopped the car, put on the emergency flashers, got out, went and got that cone, and put it over on the sidewalk at the intersection of Ellis and Cemetery Street. That began a 10-year dynasty of that cone. It stayed on that corner for 10 years. Unbelievable. It was in the middle of the sidewalk for 3 years, moved over to the grass for 1 year, commanded a telephone pole for a year, and then I don't know how it happened, but it ended up on the other side of the road protecting a water meter for its last 5 years. My daughter was in the 3rd grade, and she graduated from high school talking about that cone. And we didn't touch it. Everybody knew about it, but it was just sort of to me, it epitomized a paradigm. We all thought that cone was there for a reason, but we were there when it got its non-purpose. It wasn't supposed to be there at all. That's kind of the analogy that I like to use for a couple of the principles that are in the book. One of them is sentence bookends. Sentence bookends are the little things we say before or after a sentence that can either help frame it or make it annoying. So to frame it, sometimes if you go to somebody and you say, hey, let's talk about your resume, that's a little concerning. But if you say, hey, I've got 2 questions about your resume, then you know what to expect. So that's called framing it. It's more fun to talk about the annoying ones. Does anybody else have a friend that starts most of their sentences off with, hey, you know what? Where do you go with that? Where do you go? You can only say one thing, right? What? What? Hey, you know what? Usually they say, hey, you know what? They just keep on talking. But it's fun every now and then to mess with people like that. I've got a friend like that, and he'll say, hey, you know what? And I'll say, potatoes are made in Idaho. He said, what? New York's a big city. No, we're out of ketchup. So that's all it was just that whole, hey, you know what, is like it's a paradigm. It's like the orange cone. It's like something that they want to, that is just a filler that I don't know where it came from. So it's pretty interesting that way. So there are all kinds of different, since they're called bookends, those are pre-sentence ones. There's also post-sentence ones, right? There are things that we say at the end of a sentence, right, that can become annoying if done too much, right? And if you do it all the time, right, it becomes being a conversational bully, right? I can do it. Oh, by the way, this is an autobiography. I've done all these things and continue to do so if I don't catch myself.